My name is Nils, and in this series we're going to windsurf around Greece.
This is fun! I crashed the last pack because the waves are so big.
Training for long distance windsurf.
You did it!
Over there is the beach.
Why am I doing this? I think in order to answer that question I have to go back a bit. I've always been the competitive type, whether it be in windsurfing or anything else. While sometimes it's nice to just enjoy a good windsurfing session, I've always needed the challenge that comes from competing, doing races, doing GPS speed or anything like that. I've kind of actively stopped slalom sailing already a couple years back now, and I focused solely on speed windsurfing, which is the part of windsurfing that I truly fell in love with. But I've also been doing speed surfing now for over 10 years, and with last year actually going to Lüderitz, which is like the pinnacle of speed surfing that you can do, it feels like this road has kind of come to an end and I need to really step it up to do better and go again to Lüderitz, which I'm not doing this year. So it feels kind of like a time to take a little step back maybe from speed surfing to refocus and come back stronger. And I just think if you really love something, you sometimes have to take a step back from it in order to find your love again. And it feels a little bit like I'm at this point now, because if I see a storm, I don't feel super motivated at the moment to drive like 8 hours there and 8 hours back to a spot just to get some 40 knots numbers on the screen. And that's why I feel like this is the right time to take a step back and do something entirely different. And this is basically how this challenge came about. I think windsurfing around Greece is something so completely different from anything I've ever done in windsurfing before, to not use the windsurfer just to sail around at one spot to have fun or chase GPS numbers, but to actually use the windsurfer to travel long distances in any wind that is thrown at you, whether it be 4 knots or 40 knots, is like something so entirely different. And it just excites me so much to discover this side of windsurfing that I've never done before. It's a unique challenge, unlike anything I've ever done before. My emotional support dog. What do you think? Is this going to be a successful trip today? She says yes. It's 9 o'clock at morning and I'm getting ready to leave because the wind is starting to pick up in the bay. As you can see, there's like 5-6 knots already down there, so I'm kind of getting out easily. And then the question is if I will do one long leg over to Corfu, Kerkyra, or if I will go a couple of times upwind along the coast before I make the long leg over to Laka and Paxos. But yeah, I guess we'll figure that out as we go. So let's head down to the beach now and see how it looks down there and get started so we have the most daylight left. Alright, this is the spot where we start the journey around the Greek coastline. And yeah, as you can see, the wind is still very light, but the wind is actually coming from over this hill now. So I think as we get out, we will have stronger wind, and it's forecasted to be outside up to like 14 knots. So that should be pretty good for a long distance. And yeah, I'm going to rig the 7.9, which is like not the biggest sail, but it's just so good with the handling and for the back that I prefer to have a little bit smaller sail that's a bit slower compared to a bigger sail that's heavier on the back for the long distance. And I'm pretty nervous also, I have to say, because this is the first time I've done anything like this. So I don't know really what to expect to sail such long distances and long times at slow speeds on the same course. And yeah, this is going to be interesting. But yeah, I'm going to get started now. Okay, just checking that the line is not like the last piece of shit line. No, this one is looking good. So I'm using the 0.7 outhaul racing set. And with this I can adjust the outhaul while I'm surfing. So the benefit is of course that I need to go on lots of different courses, upwind and downwind, and then I can just adjust my sail on the go. So this is really beneficial, I think. My equipment that I'm taking. So I have on the one hand a hand VHF so that I call my parents who are following me with the boat so we can stay connected. Then I have the Insta360 to film. I also have, where is it? I also have a GoPro that I'm going to attach to the boom to film me in the face if I want to tell you guys something. And yeah, then I have additional batteries for the cameras and everything. And the handmade GPS from Jan Heinen. Thank you for this one, because this is a really nice one because it's watertight and it shows the actual speed very big while I'm sailing, so I know how fast I'm going, and I have my position if I actually need it for safety reasons and I need to tell my position. So yeah, then I have some water and some snacks and like some spare rope, all the stuff in the bag. So I'm preparing everything now and I think ready in about 15 minutes. Okay, right as I wanted to start the journey, actually they want to slip a boat here. So now it's getting kind of noisy here and also I had to move a little bit. But yeah, we're going to start anyway now. I think I have everything ready. Everything is in the bag. I have all the safety measures were taken care of. So I think let's start now. Did my first tag of the trip. I'm generally going at about 8 to 12 kilometers an hour, so like 5 to 6 knots. And yeah, the wind is still pretty light, around like 8 knots, and the board is way more unstable than I remembered on the downwind. So I put actually the dagger board in, but I think it's slower with the dagger board, so I will play around. So I really have to figure out this board again. And yeah, but it feels good to be on the move and actually start this project that I've been wanting to do for like 2-3 months now. So super happy, and I am generally curious how it feels to be out at sea in about half an hour. First time I'm doing like somewhat planing, and this is actually fun now on the race board. It's like 15 kilometers an hour. I could go faster if I went like square, but I need to go downwind to make it to that island over there. There I want to pass. So yeah, we're making good way. This is fun. So yeah, driving this thing is really, without the dagger board in, not so easy. But yeah, now we are straight on course for the island where we're passing, and then we have to make it to the left, so basically south. And yeah, it's still pretty flat, and I would say like 8 knots of wind now. Alright, as I'm going out, it's getting windier. I'm doing more speed, like 16-17 kilometers an hour, 8-9 knots. And yeah, I'm not going super far downwind. I'd rather make a couple more legs because it's way more stable like this instead of going straight downwind. Woo! Fun. So yeah, one more leg over there. We're nearing the first waypoint, making a good 13 to 15 kilometers an hour. I expect the wind to drop a little bit here because we're right behind the land, but going between the island and the mainland saves a lot of time. And then we actually switch from going downwind to probably fully upwind. So I actually think it's better because this super far downwind on the race board is kind of wobbly and I need to concentrate a lot. But yeah, let's see. That was interesting. First leg done. That was the downwind out of the bay, and now the wind direction changed, so now we need to go fully upwind to that island over there, but maybe first we're going over to Corfu now, which is like 8 miles away, so it should take like 1 hour to get there. But yeah, I needed to adjust the dagger board because it's sometimes slipping in too much. And let's get going.
Laid under the willow tree, the last weekend of summer. The empire at our fingertips, the autumn to discover. If I would have had the worthiness to be the perfect lover, would you stay under the willow tree when I asked if you would be? Would you be my Valentine? Still I lie within a memory, devoted as your lover. You could take my hands and cover your eyes and tell me there's no other. Would you be my Valentine?
It's crazy to be standing here now. It took like 1.5 hours to get there. I'm, I think, like right on the edge of Kerkira. So yeah, it's weird because when I was a kid, my family, we were going a lot of times here, or basically like 3 times a year for vacation to Greece. And we've been with a sailing boat to all the places over here, and I haven't been here a lot over the last years. And to be doing this long distance trip now, like so many years later, and actually visiting all the places with a windsurfing board is kind of amazing, honestly. But yeah, I think it's like a third done. 20 kilometers actually on the dot now. So now I need to go over there, upwind to the island of Paxos. But first I'm gonna call my parents and see where they are with the boat, because they're following with the boat, and do a little water and lunch break, and yeah, then continue. Ich bin auf Korfu. Geil.
Hier ist gerade ziemlich viel Wind. Wir kommen jetzt wirklich mehr raus.
Okay.
Wir kommen nicht nach Lefkas. Paxos. Kannst du nach Sivota fahren?
Ja gut, ohne Begleitboot fahre ich nicht nach Paxos, dann fahre ich nach Sivota rüber. So my family just called me, and unfortunately for them it's too much wind. So the plan that they went to Paxos with a boat, they can actually not make it out of the bay. I don't know why, actually, maybe it's not so windy. But yeah, they're not going over to Paxos, and I'm not going alone to Paxos because Paxos is quite far more outside. And here, like if something happens, I will just go over to Corfu, to the island I'm on now. So this is not so dangerous. But if I go out to Paxos, the next thing I will be at is Italy. So this I will not do without a boat. So now the plan is to go more upwind to the mainland, to Sivota. And yeah, from there see if I go further than that today. But so we're doing this now, change of plans. But I think it's important that you can adjust doing these things, because stuff like this can happen all the time. And yeah, I'm just taking a little water break and enjoying a bit the scenery here, because I don't know where I'm at actually, but it's quite beautiful. And then I'm sailing over to my family and visit them. This is so cool. I love it. My sister, she's like doing marathons and stuff like that, and long distance running, and she gave me one of these, is Aero B, whatever this is. See how this tastes. No, it's actually just honey. Okay, some energy. Back over, had a nice little break.
making it back to the mainland. Over there is the island with the big cave. And yeah, now the wind is picking up a little bit again. I was down to like 6 to 8 kilometers an hour in the middle, and here I'm more like 10 to 12. But I think, yeah, the race spot is really the right thing to choose here, because with a foil I wouldn't have been able to plane the whole time. For sure not.
Over there is the beach.
Wow. Kalt drauf. Ja.
Oh, es war echt weniger Wind jetzt auf der Rückfahrt.
Ja?
Deutlich. Oh, geil.
Ja?
Es macht Bock.
Und, wie war's?
Schön. Kuckuck. Ja, kuckuck. And now the moment I've been waiting for the whole trip. So while my whole family was having fun with the race spot set, I took a little break, had a little bit of lunch, and yeah, now I'm trying to get a few kilometers more up the coast, as there's still a little bit of wind and like 3-4 hours of light left. So yeah, I'm getting ready to go again, and I have to go up through this channel again, but I think it should be doable. And yes, let's get going and see how far we can make it today. Alright, that's pretty good. I guess I'm still making some distance. I'm going 10-12 kilometers an hour. And yeah, just trying to make it further down south. The more kilometers I make today, the better.
As I was heading back out there, I realized how tiring it was to go upwind the whole time. Because I think for long distance challenges like this, going downwind makes it just so much more easy. But this was like the only wind we had for the week, so I wanted to get the challenge started. But being out there for like the 4th straight hour on the water, trying to make some way upwind in like 10-12 knots of wind was really exhausting. So I actually didn't make it that much further. But I thought every kilometer that I can get further down south would help in the long run to make this challenge feasible and to actually get somewhere. So after about another 1.5 hours of sailing and another 15 kilometers, I arrived at this beautiful beach with this camping yard, and yeah, that seemed like the right place to call it a day. And I actually really enjoyed to arrive at this place, and I got, I think, 10-12 kilometers down south overall, which is not a whole lot, but I wanted to take my time with this challenge and not rush it and really try to visit as many beautiful places as possible. For example, I didn't have to go to Corfu, but I just thought it would be cool to head over to this island before heading down further south. So yeah, I'm in no rush to finish this challenge, but yeah, then the more kilometers I can make down south, the better. So I just arrived at this beach here, and I gotta say I'm pretty exhausted. The wind is kind of dropping now, so I'm calling it a day, and we also lose light in like 1 hour. The sun is setting, or 1.5 hours. So I want to be at least like 1.5 hours before sunset back at the beach at land. And I gotta say, I love this. This is so much fun. Not the windsurfing itself necessarily. I mean, I had some pretty fun legs, but just the concept of this, of doing long distance
is just something completely different from what I'm usually doing, like blasting in a 5 kilometer place back and forth. And to be actually going somewhere, like, look at this. To actually be going somewhere with like a purpose feels so nice. And yeah, for sure I'm going to continue this the next days. And we will head down south further to this direction. But for now, I'm really happy with day one, that I've been over to this island over there, Kerkira, which went actually pretty fast. I was over there in like 35 minutes or something. So I was surprised how well that was going. And I'm slowly getting familiar with the raceboard again. So yeah, now I'm waiting for my dad to pick me up here.
That was it for episode 1 of Windsurfing around Greece. I hope to see you again for episode 2. Subscribe to the channel so you will not miss anything. And let me know down below in the comments what you want to see next on this challenge. Thanks to my Patreons and see you in the next one, guys.